Hello, spooky people. My name is Dan, and it's that time again. It's Halloween. Got my Halloween top on, and I'm recording it on my phone this time because the last time I recorded it on my webcam, the sound got a little bit weird. But it's time to look at some more GM48 Game Jam games. All of these games have been made in 48 hours around the theme of spellcasting. So, let's see what we've got. Okay, so up first today, we have got the Wizard Biz. And in the Wizard Biz, what you have to do is collect spells that are dotted around the earth, and what you have to do with them is use it to alter the environment around you. So you see I've got some spells at the bottom there. You collect these Chaos Emerald-like things, which you can turn the blocks and these odd koalas and things. So there's one, and that spell is left. So you see it appears at the bottom there. I can use that spell to make things that can move left go left. So there you go, look, things are moving left. I did find, rather frustratingly, that I did get caught in amongst the blocks sometimes, and I had to reset, which is annoying when you get a little bit further in. So one of the spells is to spawn yourself back to the start. Perhaps it would be more, because I see that they did it as a bit of a workaround, which is clever, but perhaps a bit more of a workaround would have been to have maybe had a safe spawn point or something. Obviously the graphics are very simplistic, which is, it serves its point. It's very sort of developer graphics, I would call them, but they're fun, and the little wizard dude is smiling. And look, there's the spell for right. I did find that if you go off screen, no matter where you are, it's an instant death. So I spent a lot of time getting up here, only to die straight away. It is quite a fun challenge. It's a bit of a puzzler, a bit of a unique take on it. There we go, instant death. It's a bit of a unique take on a platformer, which I think is quite silly, and I like how silly that bird looks as well. So I will have to find, because there is apparently a super secret spell which I need to look at. I'm going to have to go back and find that. But in the meantime, I did enjoy this one. It's, like I say, slightly iffy platforming at times, but for the most part, that didn't get in my way. It's just every now and again when I got caught in a block. Other than that though, it's a good entry, and I had a lot of fun. Okay, so up next today we have got Dantoma B-Side. And in Dantoma B-Side, what you have to do is use your spellbook to cast certain combinations using the arrows, and then cast the spells. At least that is the theory. The problem I was having was that the controls seemed to not work too well. I could bring up the spellbook with the left control, despite it saying on the game page that it was actually the right control, and it said left click to shoot, and much as I was trying, I couldn't shoot, so I wasn't really sure why. I wasn't. Also, the game did restart a second ago there. I'm not sure why. I think there's a little bit of polish to be had in this one, because I couldn't figure out how to get through the spells and actually cast them. I think I'll need to try that again. Hopefully they'll go back in and fix that. But it is quite funny because you've got these pumpkin-themed monsters. You know, you've got the Halloween vibes going on, which is silly. And you are this mouse in a blue castle, which is quite interesting. It's just, yeah, the controls were a little bit weird. I couldn't quite figure out how to cast the spell. But I did end up just wandering through, and you can do a little dash move, which I did there, and dash directly into the enemy. But I decided instead to just dodge the pumpkins and just walk off to the exit. Or at least I thought it was the exit. It did say game over at some point, so I don't know if that meant I won or I lost. But yeah, I think the foundations are here. It just needs a little bit of work and definitely some sound. But yeah, that's Dantoma B-Side. Okay, so up next we have got Wizard School. And in Wizard School, what you have to do is learn spells to escape the system, I suppose. What you have to do, it's a bit of a platform puzzler with gamepad support. Always a nice touch. You can use a spell to flood the room, and you can also use spells to attract boxes to and from. There is a third spell. I didn't know what it did because I'm not very good at puzzles. So the buttons do different things like lift up and down the blocks. So you see here what I'm trying to do is I need to get up there. So I need that box up here. So what I'll do, because the box is floating in the water, is I will remove the water, bring it along, and then put it on this box here, on this button here. Did I put it on the button? Oh yeah, I brought it along and then I didn't put it on the button because there wasn't enough time. But I realised what I needed to do was actually flood the area first. A little more than that, so I flooded it up to here. And then deflood. Well, push the button up, deflood. I can't remember actually how I did this. That's right, I got the button there. Then I got up here, put the flood, so that made the box float. And that made the water go down, and then I could stand on the box and use it to get further up. I think that's what I did. It's quite confusing, which is really good. Oh yeah, that's it. And then once the water goes down, it can go back up because it's on the button. It's very well designed. There's a lot of puzzles and a lot to think about. I'm just not very good at puzzle games, but that doesn't take away the enjoyment of the game. So I think this is an enjoyable one. Lots of fun. Okay, so up next we have got Magic Dwarf. And in Magic Dwarf you have a selection of 10 spells. What you have to do with those 10 spells is cast them onto the enemies that are apparently procedurally generated. I did not do that because I died just there. It's quite interesting. So yeah, this is a different room from last time despite it being room 1. So yeah, procedural generation, I get it. It is cool. I do find the only problem with this is that the controls are very, very weird. You have the numbers 1 to 0 at the top. You have to press them on the keyboard while using the WASD keys to move and using the mouse to aim. That, to me, I should have 3 hands to be able to do that. I did realise you can cast multiple spells at once, which is quite cool. So there's me casting the Zap and the Electric, I think. There's a good variety of spells. I do wish there was a little bit more slow introduction to them because they do kind of hurl you in at the deep end, which means a big old wall of text to read. And I don't have a lot of attention for that. So I do prefer to sort of be eased into a game, like a goldfish in a new pool. But it is enjoyable. I like the procedural generation, but I did get wiped out very, very quickly. So it is good. But yeah, it's complicated on controls. That needs work. Other than that, good job. Okay, so up next today we have got Salamant Wizard. A lot of wizards, a lot of wizard theming going on. Kind of expected, I suppose. And in Salamant Wizard, you are casting a variety of 5 spells: water, fire, earth, wood, and metal. I just have to look that up. It looks on the right hand side where the spells are. It looks like it's earth, fire, gold, wood, and rock. But either way, what you have to do is you have to fight against the monsters in a grid-based movement. They're following you, and you have to kill them with various spells, all of which have different effects depending on who you are fighting. I tend to find the wind spell, the one that looks like a gold bar, tends to be the best to just kind of spam. I wonder if that's a slight balancing issue. And it's quite sort of, the sound effects are very loud, but it's part of the fun though, that there's all these different spells and it's nicely sort of thought out, but it's all procedurally generated as well, so it's a bit interesting. My first run was far better than the rest. I got 10 and then I just managed to do so much worse the next time around. This guy stopped moving, so I approached him and then he ended up, I think, did he attack me? I can't remember. Yes, he did. Twice, in fact, and I died. It's a good game. A lot of stuff going on and some interesting ideas going on there. Good job. Okay, so up next today we have Arctract, and this game, alongside the next one, does not have sound, so I will put a backing track in right about now. But yeah, the idea of Arctract, in all honesty, I'm not entirely sure. You have to move the orb, or the golf ball orb, and maybe avoid these other orbs, or collect the orbs. You ever say orb so often you kind of lose all meaning of it? I'm not entirely sure. It's certainly very pretty. Sound aside, it's got some lovely little effects going on, and you move the orb and it gets small again, and then I just started whizzing it around like this, and I got an achievement because I made some fireworks. I looked at the other achievements. I suppose that's kind of the goal, is to figure out what you need to do in order to get these achievements. Maybe if you carried on collecting the golf balls, you would have got the big achievement, and I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I think this is more of a sort of fun little toy, and it certainly achieves the goal of being a fun little toy quite well. It's cute, it's silly, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. But look at the fireworks, it's so pretty. And finally today we have Get the Ghoulies. In Get the Ghoulies, you are this witchy person here, and what you have to do is zap the Ghoulies. That's pretty much all there is to it. So these skeletons, my understanding is that Ghoulies were ghosts, but apparently they're skeletons. They appear and you zap them. Funny thing is, I think there's a few issues with this game. It says on the top left that there are 8 enemies, but I think they get stuck in the corners, so I had to go to the corners to double check, because you can't go off screen, but I think the Ghoulies can. See, they just come out there. I think that meant there were more, and yep, they've just popped back into existence. It's also slightly weird because it does mention you can upgrade your spells and you can upgrade your armor and weapons and blah blah, but I was playing this for a while, still on round 1. I don't actually think there is a way to get to the upgrade section. I don't know if that's if there's an issue where that doesn't perhaps transition right. It's clear there's a good foundation here, it just needs a little bit more work. And hopefully they do expand on it to make it a bit more, a bit more variety, more weapons, more enemies, more waves, that kind of thing. A good wave shooter is a good game in general, but it just needs a bit more to it. Obviously I appreciate time's the factor, but overall it's a good start, that's for sure. And that's going to be it for this GM48 Game Jam. Only 21 entries this time around, which is a bit of a shame. I hope that you did enjoy, and if you are thinking about taking part in a game jam, check it out, gm48.net, wonderful community, needs more people, so get involved. If you've ever thought about coding, art, music, whatever it is, if you reckon you can do it in 48 hours and want to challenge yourself, give it a go, it's a lot of fun. But I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Until then though, bye!